everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And I want to start by saying congratulations to the Taconic High School baseball team. They won the state championship. I believe that's 2 years in a row. So a repeat for them. But a big congratulations to them. That's a huge accomplishment. So great job. What else is big right now? The changes, this next round of changes to North Street, I believe, start today or tomorrow. And for those that are not up to date on this, North Street, basically from Park Square down to the hospital, I believe, to Wacona Street, North Street will be one lane on each side. The bicycle lane is switched back to where I guess it originally was, and then the traffic pattern will be one lane on each side. And if that don't work, they're going to leave that. I think they said this is also an experiment. Boy, I hope for the business owners it works. But they said if that don't work, maybe we can put a maze in, and that will trap people into staying in the North Street area, and then eventually they'll get hungry and need to go into the businesses and shop. I don't know. I hope it works out. City candidates for the Pittsfield City Council election. 2 that I have announced so far that I know of have decided to withdraw from the election. Nick Russo. Many of you know Nick from the bike lane project that went in last fall. And Nick was running for Ward 2 City Council. He made a statement via his Facebook page that he will not be doing that. Unfortunately, he said he's bailing out. He didn't give any detailed reasons, but he said he wasn't going anywhere, but he would not be handing in his papers. So, and then Brandon Maurer is another one. Brandon, I like Brandon a lot. He was running for at large. The situation with Brandon is Brandon, I believe, just got married or is getting married. It's real close. And him and his wife, or soon-to-be wife, have been in the market for a home. Every home that they have looked at in Pittsfield, they got outbid on. And they had an opportunity to purchase one in Lanesboro. And I can understand. I mean, I've tried to put myself in that position, and if they passed on that to try to see if something could come up in Pittsfield, they might have never gotten anything. So they had to take that. So Brandon will still be another one who's actively involved and engaged in the community. I don't think any of that will change. It's just that he couldn't run for council, so he had to withdraw because his official address will be in Lanesboro. Not a lot of candidates this year. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if a lot of this is normal or it's the participation rate is even less just after coming out of this pandemic and politics having been bashed over our head through the entire time. Maybe people are burnt. I'm not sure what it is, but the participation rate in Pittsfield's horrible. Most of the wards, I think, are going to go uncontested. And what would happen if the incumbents decided not to run? It's sad, but there's got to be a reason for the apathy in the community. And I feel it falls on City Hall. I feel that government is the people. You know, it's elected as it is the people, and it's up to the government, especially in a municipal situation like this, to have PSAs, engage the public, keep the public active. It's part of the process. That's what we elect people for. And over the past few decades in Pittsfield, government and the constituents, the gap has just widened and widened, in my opinion. And the participation rate is so low because people just, I've talked to some highly educated people that I've tried to talk into running for council, and all of them just, nah, you couldn't pay me enough to do it. And that's sad to hear that. I don't know how we break that. I really don't. So, pay attention, everyone. The council elections, you have till July 16th, I believe, to hand in nomination papers. So there's still time for last-minute people to get papers, get the signatures required, and hand them in. You still have time. Another thing I want to talk about is everyone's need for employees right now. That's huge. And, you hear a lot of mixed views on that. One of the big ones you see on social media a lot, which is surprising, it is surprising to me, is people are like, it's because the unemployment and this and that. And look, I've looked at reports on this. The unemployment has got nothing to do with it. People thinking that the additional money that was included by the federal government and the state governments to people's unemployment benefits, like emergency pandemic funding, is the reason why employment is in the situation it is, where businesses are struggling, all of them, to find people. And that's not the situation at all. The situation, when you look at the information that's out there, at least what I've looked at, there's studies that show, especially during the pandemic, people took that time that we were all locked up at home, and a lot of people used it as an opportunity to do what they hadn't been able to before, and that was change professions, make real life changes, and not just changing professions. A lot of people packed up and moved. I know quite a few people in Pittsfield that packed up and moved during the pandemic and used that as a time to do that. So, it's got nothing to do with the unemployment. The stats show that that's very little impact on it. The biggest impact is that people made changes. When you take that in our community, and what is the real issue here? It's really like what Brandon Maurer experienced. Housing. Where do you live? Try finding an apartment or a home for sale in Pittsfield. Oh my God, it's unbelievable, and you're going to be outbid. I mean, you're going to pay top dollar. And finding apartments, forget it. I get messages now more than I ever have. I used to get 1 or 2 a month. Messages that people asking me if I knew some places that they could find rentals. Now I'm getting 10 to 15 a day. It's really crazy. People are desperate. So housing is the big issue, and at what it costs to live here, what we call market rate housing, take that and compare that to what the jobs pay, and it's not that the businesses are being cheap at all. It's just that the cost of living has gotten so out of control right now that the businesses will not be able to pay their employees what it's going to take to keep them. I mean, housing is the biggest issue, and that's what really needs to be talked about. When I talk about transparency, again, I just find it's a responsibility of whoever the mayor is, whoever the person is that gets out there when they want the job, and they put little mailers in your mailbox, and they knock on your door, and little videos out of them making homemade spaghetti dinners for people, and kissing babies, and digging holes, and pushing wheelbarrows with hard hats on, and the whole deal, the whole gamut of campaigning. When you go through that to get a job, and you're asking people to put you in that job, and that job pays well over $100,000 a year with great benefits, don't you feel like people are going to want to hold you maybe accountable to all those things you promised you were going to do, and all those things during the campaign, the way you made it look? And that's how I look at it. I don't care who the mayor is. Really, I mean, let's either cut the BS out of campaigning, or, you know, call them out on it. I hate that side of it. And again, I get it. It's been this way here for decades. The political factions, the cliques, the way it's done. That's what's got to change, and the voter apathy has to break for that to happen. And I think that's the biggest challenge. So again, that is it for now. Hopefully we see and hear from the mayor. I'm waiting on an interview for her. Someone said don't hold your breath, but I'm going to hold my breath. We'll see what happens. So maybe I'll catch you tomorrow.